Sunday morning at the racetrack. Mike Mullen from MikeMullen.net, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Sunday morning, the Brickyard 400. And I'm thinking old TonyStewart and Jimmie Johnson are going to be battling it out down the stretch. Tell you, if you're a betting man, you have to bet on Chevrolet. Won 9 straight here. 13 of the 18 races. Can't believe it's been 18 races. I remember the Brickyard crossing that very first time we came up here to test. 20 years ago almost, I think. Nice place. If there's any track on the tour, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Tour, that does it right, it's Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A lot of tracks in this business could take a lesson, a lot of lessons from these people. They make things happen. Like Friday's Grand Am race, wasn't too bad. 5.5 hours. Not quite sure who all those guys were. Strange names. We'll see them up at the Glen, I think, in a couple of weeks too. See if we can figure out who they are. Saturday, the nationwide race, had about 40,000. I tell you, in a place that holds 260, 280,000, 40,000 doesn't look like a big crowd, but I tell you, that's about the crowd they had over at IRP across town for so many years. I think it's a mistake for them to drop IRP. Should be racing trucks there. Should also be racing nationwide there too this weekend. Why can't we have a whole bunch of racing here? I mean, when we go to Daytona, we're down there for 2 weeks. When we go to Charlotte, we're there for 2 weeks. This is the biggest track in the world. This is Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And they tried to jam the Cup stuff into Saturday and Sunday alone, and another day for nationwide and another day for Grand Am. Trying to pack 10 pounds of rocks in a 5-pound sack, if you ask me. The track did okay. I'm not so sure the fans really got all the experiences they needed. But, I tell you, Sunday, I hope it's not a gas mileage race. Matt Kenseth says if it's a gas mileage race, everybody's equal. Well, we'll see how that works out with this EFI electronic fuel injection. We were just checking out the Formula One news, and apparently the people over there, who also have very similar fuel injection systems, have been tweaking them so they use traction control. We were talking about that at Darlington a couple months ago, about how EFI is nothing but traction control disguised. And I think they got caught in Formula One with complicated mapping systems and complex computer programs that make the things work. Maybe that's what they're doing here in NASCAR, and nobody knows it, except the guys that are doing it. All I know is that in the middle of May, the Hendrick guys started kicking butt. Since the middle of May, for example, on the Chevrolet side, Hendrick's guys, their 4 drivers, not even counting TonyStewart and Ryan Newman, who've already won 4 races themselves this year. Since the middle of May, the 4 regular Rick Hendrick drivers have led 861 laps. Fellow Chevrolet team owner Richard Childers, who's won a lot of championships in the sport, has led but 2 laps. Something's going on. I don't know if it's EFI, don't know if it's engines, don't know if it's aero, don't know if it's chassis, all this stuff about sway bars at Michigan. A lot of tricks going on in the sport. A lot of things I need to get in the garage and work on and try to figure out why they're doing what they're doing and what they're doing. Of course, I'm not the only one. I think there are a lot of guys that are trying to figure out what the Hendrick guys are doing, including Jack Roush. We got Carl Edwards in the race today, new crew chief. See how he does. Matt Kenseth and Greg Biffle. The Ford cars have speed. Everybody seems to have speed. It's just a matter of how you can use the speed. Traction control? I don't know. I'm going to study up on that. Sunday morning, the Brickyard 400. Mike Mullen from MikeMullen.net at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.